Can I get an awa awa?
No.
I can't. Just one?
No.
Come on. One awa awa.
You could have one if you grow a monkey beard.
A what? All right, here we are, Chat with Pastors, Wednesday, January 27th. January 27th.
2021.
2021. Yes, whoever thought we would make it this far. But here we are.
Here we are.
We are almost, we're coming up on 1 year since we started all this nonsense.
Do you remember? Do you remember
Yes.
what it was like? Like the first, it was like a Saturday. I think Saturday morning we had council.
Yep.
And we're like, okay, church is going to get canceled tomorrow. And Ryan, you're on to preach, so go preach. And so I preached like it was people in the room.
Yep.
And that was like the gong show. And then we started recording all of our stuff, trying to do live. And so you and I sat in front of an iPhone, or maybe it was your...
There were no lights and cameras the way that we have,
No.
that we're looking at right now. There was just this. It was just my iPad.
That's
I think
right.
it was propped up on some
Yes,
books.
it was propped up on some
And we
books.
used the front-facing camera. And we actually just watched our first ever video.
And if you want to go back, it's there.
We didn't actually get all the way through it. We got a little bored. So I think we watched about 15 minutes of the 22 minutes.
And it was just us being us talking
It
about
was.
3 things, I think, that filled up 22 minutes.
And we said funny things like, if the video is blurry, the problem's on your end. When
Little,
meanwhile,
little did we know that our internet was horrible back
we've
then.
learned a lot about our internet speed here and how that was a problem.
And we were expecting people to just jump on and like join in the conversation, and we're
I mean,
like,
there were like 30 comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like there was just like, boom, we're live, and it was like everybody's there.
No.
We had a big learning curve.
Well,
So.
I mean, to that point, I had never used Facebook Live. It was already there, but just pressing that button going live, I'd never tried that.
Yeah, we tried it with youth group a couple of different times over the years, but it always sucked because it was exactly the video that you got. If you go back and watch it, you'll see it's just pixelated and harsh to watch, and it just wasn't as good. So yeah, what a learning curve that was. And then
And we encourage people to do really cool things like puzzles. I was like, if you want the shutdown to be even more boring, do puzzles.
Yeah, spend time with your family. We're like, just enjoy this time. And then what is it? 45 weeks later, we're like,
Mary Peter says, I bought a puzzle yesterday. I was like, okay, well, buy another 30 puzzles.
how many puzzles have you guys all done? Because like our house, there's been a couple.
Well, you also encourage people to teach their children the things that they don't learn in school, which is to do laundry and make meals and things like that. Tell us, do your children now know how to do laundry and make meals?
Tie their shoes, or
Is that how?
I don't know, clean their rooms. Or,
What have you taught your children in this last year? Please tell us.
Please don't tell us the bad words that you've taught them because of the frustration.
Right. Accidentally.
Accidentally,
I'm
yes.
sure. Right, everyone? Accidentally taught them.
But yeah, those were some good times. I mean, we were excited. It was a different kind of thing. We're like, okay, in a couple of weeks this will be done. Maybe a month this will be done, and then now we're like, well, it's never going to end.
The first update, which was a few days before that, was like, so no church this week. We're not sure about next week. I was like, oh.
I think we said that for like 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, we all thought it was going to be just a couple of weeks and then we'd be good to go. But that went on till, I think, June 21st was our next in-person service. And we were excited about that.
We were very excited. That's actually probably one of our biggest viewed videos of us just running through the church, running outside.
An iPhone on a selfie stick, running around. Very excited.
People are like, oh, look at these guys. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, so it's been, we're coming up on a year. And it's been, I don't know what. I'm
Speechless.
struggling for words. So much has changed, and yet, some things are the same. You and I are still here, but everything around us has changed. No, Pastor Isaac's still here as well.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, Nico Thiessen came on board, and Kieran Fair is here, really helping us with all of our video. And
I don't think we would have got to this point without his excitement of pushing for, like, oh, we could do this, and we could do this, and if we get this, and he went into the research and the homework and was like, if we get this, it's a good deal, and all this stuff. So
we pushed at the beginning, but we were limited for time and for knowledge as well. We did not know about all of this, but Kieran has brought it a long way. And Nico doing the graphics and helping us out with some of the formatting of our structure as it is right now. But yeah, so
Yeah, I remember sitting in my basement and my wife getting so mad at me because the video where I sat at the desk in her basement had a door behind us, but the door hadn't been painted yet in her house because she's like, "Oh, you can't have that video. You gotta paint that door." So eventually, after we stopped doing video at home and all that stuff, then I paint the door. So she was like, "Oh, come on." But yeah, watching those videos back again, I'm like, man, what were we thinking? But that's what we did. Like, we didn't know any better.
What we were thinking was we suddenly couldn't speak to the people of our church in the way that we had been able to up to that point, and so we did the next best thing, what we could, which was go to where we know a lot of people are, which is on Facebook, and start talking and see what happens. And that really served its purpose for that time.
It did. There was a lot of people that did join in those conversations and felt good about it and felt connected. I really enjoyed. We kind of veered off for a bit and started interviewing other pastors and that we knew and wanted to know what they were going on in their ministry. And it was really cool just to connect with people and be like, "Oh, yeah, I haven't seen you in a long time," or "Man, it's good to talk to you." And it was a weird thing because you're like doing this for a video for our church, but it was also a blessing to me to just have a conversation with them and find out what's going on. And
it wasn't the same as seeing them in person, but it was better than not seeing them.
Yeah.
Some of my friends pastor friends from Manitoba that I would usually go out, once or twice or more times a year and see them in person. Now I haven't seen them for over a year. Well, it was probably November of 19 the last time I was out west. And so again, what was the next best thing we could do? We hopped on to Zoom call. Yeah, Zoom.
Oh, that was the great. Our first video, we're like, so if you haven't heard about Zoom,
it's going to be really important the next year that we all use Zoom.
And now we're all like, can we please never use Zoom again? I don't want to use it again. But it still serves its purpose and it's still good. And Zoom, thank you very much. All those people that very hard work.
Sponsor you?
I don't know, but if they do, we'll take it.
So give us a level of your Zoom fatigue in the comments. Is it out of 10?
Yeah, 400.
How far beyond 10 does it go? And then with online schooling, give us your frustration level.
Yeah,
I know our kids are pretty frustrated with the online schooling. But anyway,
what a change in that too. Like the whole thing, like online kids were like, okay, they go check in their assignments, then they do their homework, and then it's kind of like being in homeschool. But now that online school is totally a different feature for that. So for sure, but
it is, and they're not enjoying it. Yeah, so we went from basically it was a live chat and communication, just basically announcements with our church, and then we
did have a fan show up.
We did
have a fan show up.
Oh yes, right, and that will be one of our feature interviews. Our fan Garrison will be on the show later. Oh, he's actually right there.
He agreed with everything we said.
He's not nodding his head right now, but we'll get him to do that later. We will have Garrison on again. Anybody knows what that means? And then it turned into a communication about reopening.
Yeah, that was so exciting.
That was very exciting. People were coming back, and remember that week we were, awesome, we're all going to get together outside. Oh no, can't do outside. Now we're going to be inside. Oh, now outside might be back on the table. Okay, we're going to do inside.
Those 2 weeks were probably one of the most stressful weeks that we accomplished nothing. Like, we did accomplish something, but it was like, okay, we put all energy, we're going to plan this. Like, nope, not doing that.
Kind of like our Christmas Eve service.
It was kind of like
put all that effort into planning it, and then suddenly have to do it by video. Yeah,
I was like, yeah.
Yep.
So,
and then it's changed into what we do now, which is we have review a sermon, we answer a question. You guys want to send in questions, we answer those, or talk about a current event, a news story, and that's what we're going to get back to next week.
Yeah,
we'll have the next couple weeks. We'll be reviewing everyone's favorite topic, the Antichrist.
Because everybody knows everything about that. So
exactly.
It's all good. So. Yeah, I mean, those have been a lot of fun for me in going through the sermons and just talking about them more. It helps me get into a little bit more depth, but it also helps me to pay attention a little bit more on Sunday mornings when I'm watching and going, okay, that's a good point. We'll talk about that. But also, like, it just brings me into it a lot more, which is really helpful. And I hope that people at home are able to engage that way. Like, I remember the first couple of weeks that we did online services, and we're like, I'm sitting on my couch, like, this is like watching a TV show, kind of numbing out a little bit, but now, like, that has brought me to the point where, like, okay, I'm really going to focus in, pay attention. So I really hope people at home, if you guys are doing that, are able to pay attention. But the other part of it, too, which is cool at home, is you can rewind it. And, well, I guess rewind, man. Like, I don't know if is that an old school term?
I
Like,
don't think we're sending the service out on VHS anymore.
no.
Maybe last year at this time. But...
If you want a VHS, we have some. But
details.
but to move it back and be like, okay, and listen to that again, it was really helpful. Because I know in church you're like, you're writing down a note and you're like, oh, shh, honey, did you get that quote? Did you get that? Oh, I gotta write that down. Right at home, you can kind of watch it again and do that. So I hope that's been helpful for people at home.
Yeah, and if there's anything that's unclear in a sermon or something that you think is a little bit off or just something that you've never heard before, send it in, text it to us, send an email, ask in some way, or shoot a video of yourself, or get onto Zoom.
Oh my gosh,
ask us via Zoom.
I would love people to send in their video questions.
Hey.
Like that would be great.
Hey, that's a good idea.
That would be great.
That's a good idea.
That is a good idea.
If you have a question for Chat with the Pastors, shoot a quick video of yourself, handheld, ask your question, and then we can play the video of the question.
And that would be really
That's a
cool.
great idea. I like brainstorming on the
And
fly
if you
with
feel uncomfortable, get your kids to do it. Because kids will do anything for you.
They will.
Right?
Yeah.
They all want to be on screens now.
I'm not sure about that. Some of them don't want to be on screens at all. It's almost a good thing. They definitely don't want to be on school screens.
No, that's for sure.
So anyway, that's our Chat with Pastors this week. It's just
Yeah.
a little bit of reminiscing about the last year and talk about where we're going. So what's next? We know our next 2 episodes are going to be about some passages that we've been preaching. But we'd really love to hear from you if there's other content that you'd like to see, or if it seems that this is just another thing that we're asking you to do and to watch each week. That's fine too. We don't have to do this. We started it as a way to reach out and communicate with people, and if the time for that has passed and this is done, I mean,
We'll find something else.
Find other ways to communicate.
Yeah.
But if you're finding it helpful, please give us a shout. Leave a comment below, send us an email, and we will keep trucking if that's helpful to people.
Yeah.
Huh?
If you're into it, click the button, subscribe, all of that stuff. We're on different platforms. But also, we talked about this week, and I think we mentioned it before, but it just popped in my head. But on Sunday mornings, when we watch the services, it's really helpful to click extra buttons. Like there's that watch party. You can click for the service and send it out to all of your friends, and it goes out to there and that kind of stuff. So, share stuff in many different ways if that's beneficial. Or
yeah, you guys probably, hopefully, you all have friends who are not part of a spiritual family or part of a church. And if you are watching the Sunday service video or this video or any of our videos, and you click on that button that says Watch Party, what you're actually doing then is hosting a watch party on your Facebook page, and then all of the people that you are friends with are able to jump onto that and watch it with you, and then you can sort of lead the discussion or answer the questions underneath that. So we'd really encourage you to do that as well. And if not that, share the service on Sunday mornings so that it's getting out to more people, because there are a lot of people that are struggling with stress and anxiety and depression, and they need to hear the good news of the gospel. Yeah. So we can still do that, even though we can't meet together in person right now. Yeah.
And to quote our first episode, or our first video.
What do we say?
We don't know about Sunday morning, whether or not it'll be in person or not, but...
We're sure about this Sunday, but the next Sunday, who knows?
We don't know.
No, we know it's extended for at least another 3-4
weeks,
right?
Yep. And then probably extended past that. I'm not even expecting them to ever come out and tell us that we're going back until at least the summer. Like, I'm just holding off to June. And then if they do and they come back and it's like in a week, they're like, you can go back, and I'm like, bonus. Like, it's just, I'm doing that with school, I'm doing that with church. I'm just expecting that this is the way it is. And then if the curveball changes and it's a beneficial curveball, great, roll with it.
Let's do what we can while we wait.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody.
Have a good week.
We'll see you again next week.